The final is already underway as we join our commentators Dave Lanning and Stuart Pike.
The 13th World Matchplay Final. The king against the young pretender on what many people agree has been the best week ever here at Blackpool. And James Wade, nerves of steel, and showing his talent in the very first leg. Terrific start.
Yes, there's a new kid in town, but Phil Taylor has gunned down more young sharpshooters than John Wayne, and he knows that this town isn't big enough for the pair of them. The left-handed kid from Aldershot, who has really captured the imagination of Blackpool and indeed the darting fraternity this week. Now he faces the daddy of them all.
Well, we said it has been the best ever, and that's come from people who've seen every single one of them. Certainly the best ever semi-finals night. 2 brilliant matches. 141. There were 5 ton-plus finishes from James Wade in that epic semi against Sholton last night, including 152 and 150. Now, will Taylor put down a big marker here?
Against the throw. 16 for double 16 for the first leg and the first part of Taylor's game plan. He's just wide, and that's let Wade in. And Wade is normally a super sniper with his finishing.
Tops it is then for a spectacular start. Important dart for James Wade. He hasn't missed much this week, and that will settle any nerves the young man may have had. Taylor had one dart at double 16, but Wade makes the perfect start.
Yes, and although we've been impressed by Wade's finishing, and particularly Taylor's scoring like that, hitting back hard from that first leg reversal. But Taylor has a better tournament checkout average than the young man, and that's saying something.
100. Well, we saw last night, didn't we, in Taylor's match against Hamilton, 7 perfect darts from the power, and well, you could say 8.5 perfect darts from Andy Hamilton. So close to that 9 darter, just clipping the wire on double 12. I wonder whether we'll see that magical leg of darts during this final.
Well, Wade is by no means overawed, intimidated by this occasion or the presence of one of the living legends of British sport. We have got quite a night ahead.
Well, why should he be? He's proved his pedigree this week, beating Ovens, Painter, Mason and Sholton in possibly one of the top 5 games ever. That semi-final last night, going to overtime, 1917.
Going back up for, well, that's his cover shot. He favours treble 18, but Taylor wants 121 to level this up. Treble 15 should be the target. 14 should be the next target. 89. Just squeezed in, but Wade's a long way back on 206, and Taylor rests on 32 to level this Stan James 13th World Matchplay Final.
Yeah, the first to 18 legs will be crowned the champ and will pocket £30,000. Double 16 for Taylor it is, and it's 1 leg apiece.
Third leg is James to throw first. Game on.
Well, Taylor has never lost a World Matchplay Final.
100.
In 95 he beat Priestley, 97 and 2000 he beat Alan Warrener, 2001 Richie Burnett was the victim. The following year John Part, 2003 Wayne Mardle, and 2004 Mark Durbridge. The other winners, by the way, on the World Matchplay Roll of Honour. The American Larry Butler won the first ever. There's Ricky Hatton, the world boxing champion, light welterweight and welterweight. Big mate, of course, of Phil Taylor. Yeah, Butler, Evison, Harrington twice, and Colin Lloyd, the other names on the Matchplay Roll of Honour. And Ricky will be fighting again in December over in America. I'm sure that's a fight you'll be able to see live on Sky Sports. You don't see many bounce outs for Taylor, do you? Rare event.
But it's given Wade a clear advantage here. Third leg of the final. Not happy with the second dart. It's only a mere whisker the wrong side of the wire.
83.
An absolutely fantastic audience. The audiences this week have been really astounding. We're packed here in the double gate. They're in the balcony. They're hanging off the rafters. It's the kind of setting where Spartacus would have felt at home.
100.
Yeah, magnificent sight. I think the only room would be if you were prepared to hang off the chandeliers.
100.
Yeah, good final dart.
Yes, Taylor over the years, and it's been well over 10 years now, he's seen off some rivals, of course, apart from the ones here.
60.
He's also had opposition from Shane Burgess, from Owen Shelton, from Walsh, from Ray Barneveld, of course. He's had a whole battery of players, the Royal Command performance of darts, and he's seen them all off, and now he's got a new adversary. And he's a young man, and he really has got a glittering future if he can continue in this vein. We've seen a lot of shooting young stars in darts, and some of them disappeared down black holes, but this boy Wade does seem to have all the ability and all the temperament and the talent.
Well, his performance this week will net him at least £15,000 and take him to the verge of the world's top 16. Tops for a 2-1 lead in the final against the greatest ever. Well, his finishing this week has been nothing short of sensational, and it looks like he's carrying on in that vein in the biggest match of his life.
He is a super sniper. He would have been a real threat at the gates of Stalingrad.
100.
But you have to say that Taylor has a 51% checkout success rate, which is better than Wade's. At one point, I think before last night's semi-final, he was up at about 70% on the week, Stuart, you'll recall.
Absolutely.
42.
But what a week we've had. Nearly 600 legs of darts. We've had nearly 230 180s. It really has been the best ever. And I wonder what twists and turns this final will throw up over the next couple of hours.
Yes, it's been a week that has heralded new arrivals on the main stage. This boy Wade, of course, Andy Hamilton has made his mark, and of course we must recall that the great Ray Van Barneveld didn't qualify. He's part of the whole scenario for the PDC. We're getting into really exciting days for the sport on Sky.
Well, James Wade is doing exactly what he said he was going to do during his interview with Hallam. He's just enjoying himself. He looks cool as you like. He's playing the board and he's playing his own game. He's not playing Phil Taylor. And that's what so many players have been guilty of in the last 10 years.
That's his speciality, watching the cover shooting on 18s. He's just got such a charm about him, Wade. When he walked in, he had the air of a first-year student stumbling into a prefect's party. But this has been the head boy for a long time, Phil Taylor.
Well, he has a chance here.
100.
Going to have first crack at a double, maybe. in this fourth leg, and a chance to break Taylor's throw. That's 2 bounce outs in 4 legs of darts.
Yes, and that was a costly one. It was only treble. You can see, I'm not altogether sure it didn't clip its companion there before it tried to impinge itself on the board. But that's 2 darts Taylor's lost. And as you were saying, Stuart, you don't see him lose his scoring power very often.
50.
Well, only 50. The way that Wade has been checking out, you would feel that Taylor would have to take out 132 here. Ball, double 16. So a chance then for James Wade to take Taylor's throw.
Taylor clearly in an optimistic mood, attempting to finish like that, double ball, double 16, but Wade will go single 20 and doesn't often miss this double. Again the marker, again the shot.
Well, we talked, didn't we, early on about Phil Taylor laying down a marker. It's James Wade who has done exactly that. Nerves of steel and the tungsten power to match.
Yes, and Taylor at the moment is only averaging 91, which is very much a disappointment in his book. He's certainly got another 10 points up his sleeve, and we know that this guy has got a devastating kick. When he puts in a burst, it will burn off, and has burned off, the finest dart players on the planet.
140.
Well, Wade broke the throw and then started with 41, and Taylor's punishing him here. James Wade, it seems here, unable to cash in on that break of throw. Taylor already ahead.
And how many finals have we seen that Taylor's come storming in, established a commanding lead, and really has pretty well wrapped up the match
100.
by the midway stages. Not happened tonight. Wade has done exactly as he would have wished. He's held on to Taylor, he's headed him, he's broken him, and he's looking very handsome indeed.
140.
Terrific last dart from James Wade. I wonder whether the master is being put under a little bit of pressure by the pupil.
I can't recall a final, a major final, Stuart, where we've been contemplating that Taylor will be looking at going into the break at 3-2 rather than 4-1 down.
Fantastic throwing, his second of the match. And Taylor now, you would think, would need to get 161. Treble 17. Bullseye for something quite amazing in this final.
136.
You can see that Taylor is really being pushed to the limit with an effort like that, but Wade wants 100. Now, might go for double top. Went the other way, double 10, and again he is absolutely deadly. 110 to finish, and James Wade wins the opening session with style.
Here the crowd is ecstatic. Phil Taylor has fought back and is now just 1 leg behind. He's 8-7 down. This is leg 16.
16th leg is filtered now. Game on.
Wade started brilliantly. 4-1 in the first session, but the power has just pushed his average to 101 and pulled the deficit back to 1 leg. I'm joined by John Gwynn, who I'm sure has been looking at the underlying facts behind the stats.
Yeah, dead right, Sid. The observation, which I think is most obvious, is that neither player has found it easy to break the other's throw. There have been one or two opportunities of late, yes, and we've just seen Taylor, in fact, get the break that he was looking for, level up in that particular regard. But Wade broke Taylor in the 4th leg. He's been broken back in the 15th. And Taylor always knew that although when Wade was winning a leg on his throw, he was going 3 down, he was only ever 1 break down. And in that regard, as I say, it's level. And they found it difficult to break each other's throw. that's a sign of a really good game of darts.
How significant is the fact that Taylor's averaging 101 and he's pushed his match average up to the fact Wade's is less, 94 down to 92.5.
Wade has maintained his scoring and his throw when he has thrown first. He's perhaps on occasions been found wanting in the scoring stakes when Taylor's thrown first, and that's why there's such a discrepancy in the average but not in the score.
Taylor then looking for a level game. First to 18.
102.
If it gets the 17 each, you can go too clear. Blocks the bed. Nowhere near the cover shot.
93.
Gotta say, Sid, as Taylor goes for 41 here to level up at 8 all, double 16. And Wade, of course, can't check out anyway if Taylor were to miss. He's not going to anyway. Taylor's won 3 legs in a row. That's likely to happen when you break somebody and hold your own throw. You'll always win 3 on the trot. But this is an important leg for Wade. Having been broken, he's really back to where we started at the beginning of the game. But he's very much in this match, and he's certainly very much in this leg. But what I was going to say was, I commentated on his very first game when he beat Dennis Ovens 10-1, and I remember saying then this could be the making of Wade this week, but I honestly didn't believe, Sid, that he'd be in the final.
99.
I wasn't too sure myself, even though I knew his calibre. Rod Harrington has just stepped in the commentary box to take up a fine point on the throw. Taylor, as we see,
123.
7-1 on now. The book is saying Taylor is now the favourite in a big away. Rod suggests that Taylor's stacking is off kilter by a few degrees, that he's landing the dart a little too flat. We can only work that out when he actually lands one below the bed. But keep your eye on it. On the evidence of that shot, Rod's right. The Taylor dart tends to drop at an angle of 8 to 10 degrees below the bed, like James's. So maybe the famous stacking isn't cracking quite as well, John.
Well, ironically, Taylor's darts tend to land in the bed rather like those two did of James Wade, don't they? But they were his all right with the Union Jack flights.
It's too high, really. Oh, brilliant. An understacker. If he keeps doing that. And on that second dart could be vital in this. The Taylor can stack him underneath. Waiting Problem Valley.
Well, he's left himself 162, Taylor, the bogey, and that means that Wade knows he was in comfort zone there, knew that he'd be back anyway, whatever happens. It's Taylor making a hole in this. Can do nothing about it if Wade hits tops.
90. James require 40.
There we go then. Tops for 98. Double 10. Lovely shot. Taylor has shot on the wire in the middle of the bed.
18 leg to throw.
Yeah, and that's the third time that Wade has finished a leg on double 10. He opened up the match with a double 10, 100 finish, and when we were all expecting him possibly to go 2 double tops on 8, he went treble 20, double 10 again in the 5th leg, another 100 finish, and that took him into the break, the first break, with a 4-1 lead. He's held on to that lead until the 16th leg rather, where Taylor drew level. But there's nothing in it, Sid.
81.
Absolutely, Taylor 7 times away with this. And let's just look closely at the angle of the stacking dart. Rod's right. That's 5 degrees higher and flatter than it was when he was beating Hamilton last night.
100.
Lovely last dart, and you see that's the perfect one. The one that lies at an angle of about 6 degrees to the horizontal.
For all that, his average tonight, 101.44, is considerably better than when he played Hamilton. Although he finished with 102 average for most of the matches, he was in the mid-90s. But we saw that surge towards the end, didn't we? A quite brilliant sequence of legs.
See, that's more like the angle that he normally lies them in when going for the 60. Oh, stylistic point. James blocks the bed there, but he's got such a great eye. Looking for the cover on the treble 18. Then went back there. Well, why did he do that? Why desert it? Odd.
Yes, the cover shot downstairs might have profited him, I don't know. He prefers to go to the 18s often. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but if you block it, then often
85.
there's only one alternative. He's got a lovely lie. He's unlucky with that, just a little too far to the right. And it looks as though Taylor here 100 ahead, and these darts could finish it with these three.
Lovely first dart. Treble 19. Just south of the bed.
97.
Yeah, lovely 97 to set this up for 9 apiece. And the pattern of the game, if it continues, Sydney, we'll see Wade winning on his throw, Taylor winning on his throw. And this is one of the reasons why Wade's average is well down on Taylor's. Taylor's winning on his throw with some comfort. Getting the tops, Wade back on 142 and 9 apiece.
What a match, what a pair of players. I will not bore you with my factual stats and everything about the power, but this lad, 23-year-old James Wade, the sensation of this week's match play tournament.
Yes, it rather apologetically dropped to the floor at the perpendicular, didn't it? But it didn't cost him too many points. If there's any consolation for Wade, that's it. That's the kind of cover, of course, that we've seen all week from Taylor. Et two. Oh, Wadey.
I thought you were going to say et tu, Sidious.
Well, I thought about it, but you're sitting rather too close to me, Sid.
Of course, the slap of the goal off in the fence. Anyway, Taylor really wildly away with that one. The accuracy of the lies he was getting in the latter part of the Hamilton is not there. I'm talking at the margin. He's not looking as sure on the bottom of the bed, isn't Taylor? But James is looking red hot on the red bit.
Very unlucky there. That was heading for the red bit too, but diverted south. 140 though. Just keeps him 10 behind, but Taylor could break through here with half a dozen, maybe 7 or 8 good darts.
100.
There. Oh, that's perfect the way James throws. Just too much wrist muscle in the delivery.
And of late, there have been quite a few of those, haven't there? Darts going from one dart into a lower number, lower figure, and perhaps just showing a little bit of animation there, Wade, as Taylor knows that he doesn't have to finish with these 3 darts, but if he does with as he did with the previous throw, that's a second ton on the trot, where the 3rd dart has made the score and made him favourite.
Absolutely. Taylor with a great chance here of going ahead. 10-9.
140.
What a great chuck ball there from Wade. Determined to hang on in there. 47.
15. Double 16. Double lead at 10-9. 2 16s. Now again, he's been angel kissing this into the bed. That was a bit further away than I thought. He got a flick on the flight, but it was accurate.
Again, that 3rd dart, when James Wade might have thought that he'd have a throw himself. The break of throw that Taylor's got, and now it's Taylor who's 1 break of throw ahead. And he will go 2 legs clear if he wins this. For the first time in the match.
Nothing wrong with that, When the line is that central, the darts can be slightly flatter for Taylor. It's looking very ominous. It's looking very ominous. He's sitting on 101.6 to his opponent's near enough 92. James has to bop up the scoring, and his checkout percentage is now only 45%. He's got a war on two fronts, John.
Yes. Interestingly, Sid, it was just slightly later on in the game last night against Andy Hamilton where Taylor turned the screw, hit 2 11 darters following a 14 darter, and watch out for the same. He's just beginning to really warm to the task. He put in a super 180 a moment ago, lining them up side by side, and he's searching for that range, isn't he?
He once done it perfectly in the stack out, and was thinking of a one there. That's where he uses the lie high in the bed. And if he starts clicking a few of them in, James is in trouble.
Oh, great last start though for Wade. He's looking at 140 then, and that's a perfect one. Line one up alongside it for double 10. Here we go for 11-9. Beginning to show his true class, the masterclass of the power called Phil Taylor. Come on, he says. He's 11-9 up.
Back here in Blackpool, Taylor now leads 12-10 in the race to 18. This is leg 23.
And you see the shape's back. Just a little too heavy. You can see he's having a sort of verbal joust with himself. But it won't affect his shape too much, John. He's getting really old, not all on his young shoulders. It's another sweet treble 19 for Taylor.
Oh, missed one. But yes, oh no, it won't worry Taylor. He's still that throw ahead. He's still got the cushion of one throw ahead. He went 2 breaks up with that 21st leg, bull double 16. But that's why it was so important that Wade had to take that chance.
Well, I like it, love. I've got a pink shirt on tonight because it looks quite smart, some fellas. Taylor not trying to understack it here. He's come forward that green, but again he misses. That goes out of his game. Jim's got a really good chance, but you knew the power would be there or thereabouts with the third. Mills and Boone on the balcony.
Well, this is a tough game to read in the sense that we've seen Wade hold sway.
Back from the big chat, Taylor says.
Please, come on, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Well, he's held sway on that stage before now as Mr. Blair, but now he's watching the mighty men up there in this World Matchplay Final, giving us a thrilling encounter, but a difficult game to read in the sense that Wade went ahead early doors, looked to be in control, but Taylor came back well, looked to be in control, and to a certain extent still is, but
7.
Back of the proverbial rusties.
yes, and that's the last thing you want on your own leg. It's given Taylor a great opportunity immediately to rectify matters after failing to hit the double and losing that last leg.
60.
What's the point there what Taylor does with 2 darts and an open bed? He needs the stacking system to get the in. His perfect dart is 1 into.
140.
I like that, Sid. Character 7, and takes it all in his stride, then steps up and hits 140.
This could do some damage. Treble 17 for the bull power. On the rampage, once the red bit in the middle.
136.
Well, he's almost done that before the 5th leg of the match. He missed the 25, or rather he missed the 50, hit the 25. And Wade stepped in then with a 100 check out to take the leg. And it's 98 this time, and it ain't happening as it was earlier in the contest.
He seems unsure and when he has to compose. He seems to be unsure, James, for 13-10 to hits. 13-10 confirmed then. James looks slightly bewildered. Because when Taylor cranks the pressure up, it comes now more powerful.
Yes, James Wade hasn't won on his own throw now since the 17th leg. The 19th, the 21st and the 23rd have now gone to Taylor. Yes, James Wade did have a break back in the 22nd, but Taylor 3 legs up and with the throw is going to be a difficult man now to peg back. But James Wade, as Andy Hamilton did last night, gathering himself together, he'll make one real final effort, I'm sure, Sid.
But like in that match, up to now, Hamilton looked having a chance last night, and then that power pushes average to 105 to an end average of 102.5. That could well happen now. The cover of the treble 19. Oh, in the middle of that's the key to this. When he goes there, he hits the middle of the bed. It's uncanny.
Yes, and Taylor picking that treble 19 off so perfectly, but Wade unable to do so. And a rare misdirected dart, but soon rectified as down he comes again, inexorably into exactly the same
spot. Phenomenal accuracy from Taylor. Back to this.
Yes, it's a long time since we had a maximum from Mr. Wade, but how he needed it, and may need 1 or 2 more before this match is over if it's to go his way.
133.
Lovely last dart by Taylor, sitting on a 2-darter for further leads. Pressurising James. Think of these big 3-dart combinations. Just losing. 45. It's indicative that he's had so many market darts blocking the middle of the bed there, John. The power for 14-10.
Yes, double 16, likes this. Been hitting it with great regularity in recent legs, but a chance now for Wade. 92. Will he go the bull route? Will he go treble 20? He ought to go the bull route. Yes, 42 left. 10 he's got there for double. No, he's going 2 double tops. Absolutely right as well. He's been hitting this. Oh dear. If only. If only. If only.
Face set. Sphinx in pale moonlight. Double 8. Double 8. Off the board for 2 4s. Wade might be back. Oh! Brilliant dart! Strutting his stuff! The lad who made the finest toilet chain handles in the potteries and now handles the finest tungsten metal in the world.
Yeah, looking flushed as well, and he'll be £30,000 more flushed if he wins 4 more legs, and that hurts the other player more than anything else, Sid. Yes, the big checkouts when you're standing on a double yourself hurts, but when a player actually consistently wins the leg with that 3rd dart, when his opponent is standing there thinking, having heard thud, thud, and then game shot, it hurts.
It's one of the tricks of the trade you learn from Bristow. Never give a chucker an even chance. Bully him. Make him start thinking about you rather than the board. It's a forced error. 4 more legs. This will bounce in off the barrel almost certainly. Beautiful. Still room on the market order. Exquisite!
I've just been thinking about their pre-match interviews with Helen Chamberlain, and the one thing that came out of Taylor's interview was his emphasis on experience, and I think we're seeing it being brought to bear now. Never looked like panicking. He rarely does.
Yes, he's echoed something to me. Many times says he's not a better dart player now. He's just a uncanny a dart play. And one of his canniest routines is to dish out the pressure when the other bloke doesn't expect it.
96.
Another number. But it might not matter here. Oh, he's hitting everything. Kane in the board.
134.
Yes, giving us something of an exhibition now. He has played better, but in the context of this game, he's having his best spell. There's no doubt about it in terms of this final.
It's not quite the same, James, where they blitzed Chris Mason.
Game shot.
But it's the same Phil Taylor who's blitzed everybody you care to name over the past 12 years. The power! Poised to take his 8th match play title. He leads the Tyro James Wade by 15 strokes to 10.
Back here in the final of the Stan James World Matchplay 2006, Taylor is still out in front. He leads 16-11, just 2 legs from victory.
Taylor throwing first, kicks off with a ton 40.
Some hair-raising sights in that audience. You need a barrel to collect their dandruff, John.
60.
Yes.
Taylor 2 away from his 8th World Matchplay title. So they'll be dancing and eating nutcakes in the saggers. Oh, this is magic. Here's the cover again.
139.
Just south of the cover.
Only just, but puts him 219 ahead, puts pressure on Wade. Well, he picks out the treble 19 as well. There's a smile on his face, which is nice to see.
It's that dart that blocks the 60 that's done for Wade in his scoring phases. The magic scoring that did, particularly for Chris Mason, has not been there tonight. He's averaging a mere 89.5.
Yes, exactly 10 points between them in the averages, and that is now reflected in the score, in fairness, as Taylor has to a certain extent turned the screw. He hasn't improved his average as significantly as he did last night, but he's taken advantage of Wade's dip in form.
Correct.
96.
Taylor's worst average this tournament has been 95.5. Yes, Jim needs bags of this. Lovely! Bit late in the day, but lovely. Here we go then. Power's eyes gimleted to take him to 1 leg away from the title. He misses the 60. He wants fat 16. He's got a clear route to the double 16.
Again, Sid, that blast dart. All right, it was a 3-dart combination as it turned out, but you can see the pain on Wade's face. He was hoping for once that he'd be given an opportunity, and that's been Taylor's strength in these last 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, as well, of course, as getting down to the double in the first place by whatever means. A wonderful all-round game. We often talk about his firing at the treble 20 like this, but his all-round game in the last 25 minutes has been on display as well.
Yeah, James has matched him on the maximums 5. Matched him on the ton 40, 17. Taylor's ahead by 7 on the 100 pluses. But the all-around accuracy that John has so accurately said comes from hours and hours and hours of practice. He's showing you what Taylor is made of. Pure, crystal, tungsten.
Yes, if people say, if I practice as much as Taylor, will I be as good? I always say to them, well, he was good to start with before he even started practicing. It's just that practice does make perfect, and he's as perfect or near perfect a player as we've ever seen, of course.
When he was only 17, he could be 97 averages almost without trying. Could Taylor? That's forgotten sometimes. The practice is just made it more likely that he'll be there on big occasions like this, John.
That's where it makes it a bit awkward, doesn't it? Just above the treble, and there's a little bit of hope here for Wade if Taylor. And he was inevitably going to pick one of them off, wasn't he? But it's not a bad effort, this, by Wade. It's his throw, needs a score here. Last thing he wanted was that, of course. Good recovery. Another one of those now, James Wade. Yes!
121.
Taylor's left a bogey number, but I bet he's down to a single dart now. So there will be massive pressure on this. James Wade coming to the hockey to save the match. Taylor hitting 104. Getting almost inexorable. But he will get that one to save the match. The star of the week, the 23-year-old from Aldershot, has to get 2 14s. Has to get 2 7s.
81.
I think nerves took over there, Sid, don't you? I think so. Taylor then set himself up for the match. 28. I remember saying he won the UK Open with double 14. And there it is, a double 14. Means that Taylor, for the 8th time in his wonderful career, is the World Matchplay champion.